Welcome to this week's episode, Baseball Family. We are going to talk struggling Yankees, World Baseball Classic, and season milestones. Coming now. 9+ Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Welcome back, Baseball Family, to another episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I am your host, Brig, and I got my co-host, Mr. Brad, man. He's right here. How are you, Brad?
I'm good this evening. How are you, Brig?
I am hopping and popping. You know why?
Seeds.
Do you know why?
It's the seeds.
It's the seeds. And if I don't hop and pop, then I will fall asleep. So here's the deal. Baseball Family, I learned when I was in the Army that the easiest way to stay awake during a ridiculous PowerPoint presentation, we called it Death by PowerPoint, was to chew sunflower seeds. And there were so many opportunities to do that because the military just loves to kill you with a PowerPoint presentation. It's like their favorite thing ever. So that's how I fell in love with sunflower seeds. It was not a baseball thing for me. It started out as an appreciation, kind of an associative deal when I was in Little League, but when I got to be an adult is when I realized that I needed something other than caffeine to keep me awake, and a busy mouth makes my brain work. Don't know why.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, so I've been chewing seeds all evening, and I'm like really excited to be here. Let's get into current events because, as we say, we have how much to cover, Brad?
A lot.
We got a lot to cover. So the Phillies let a Mets fan in a Mets jersey throw out the first pitch at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Did you see this?
I didn't, but it sounds blasphemous, to be honest with you. A division rival?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So the guy, he's known as the General.
Okay.
And this dude owns a Mets lifestyle brand. So he produces tchotchkes and clothing and all sorts of things, and he sells them online. I think he has a storefront. And he decided that he would purchase 1,500 tickets to the Mets-Phillies game in Philly. So he bought out a whole section of seats.
Did they say why? Because sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as a thank you.
Because I'm made of questions here, Brig.
As an expression of gratitude, the Phillies said, man, you bought 1,500 seats. Would you like to throw out the first pitch? And dude went, yes, I do. Yep. And he walks out there with his Mets-inspired jersey, which was blue and orange, and it had his name, the General, on the back. And he threw out the first pitch.
Okay, now
in Philly.
My first question for you, Brig: were there butts in those seats? Because he could have bought out 1,500 tickets just so that there was nobody sitting in the stands.
Nope.
Right?
No. Right. I looked into it a little bit.
Because it reminds me of this. Have you seen the meme where people are like, if I won the lottery, I would buy out every single ticket to a Kanye West concert and then just show up in the front row to boo him by myself? Have you seen that before?
No.
That's what this feels like. I bought out 1,500 tickets, an entire section of the stadium, just so I could go boo the Phillies. Is that what this was, or was he bringing Mets fans with him to the game?
He brings Mets fans with him. This is something they do semi-regularly, a couple times a year, as far as I was able to find, and they all show up. The Mets fans, they're all this. They call themselves something. I forget that there's a name of this group of Mets fans that are the General's fan base, and they all showed up.
Please tell me they call themselves the infantry.
Oh, my word. It's not.
Oh, the 7 line.
The 7 line. That's right. Because that's the name of his brand is the 7 line. So maybe we should get him on the show. Should we call him and just be like,
we should.
Bro,
yeah, let's get this dude on.
Infamous, which means he's more than famous. He's not just famous. He's infamous.
He's infamous.
Okay. All right. Somebody name that movie. All right. let's move on. Let's go up the road a little ways to New York because the Yankees, Rome is still burning. And I know I said that at the beginning of the season, and then I was wrong. And now I'm right again, and I'm still upset. So here's what's going on. Aaron Boone was so angry. First of all, they've won the last 2 games. Okay, they've been at home. They had a 4-game set against the Blue Jays, and they won the final game, narrowly avoiding the sweep. And then they opened tonight, Monday night, against the Mets for part 2 of the Subway Series this year, and they won tonight. So 2-game win streak, longest they've had in
hold on, Brig.
Since July.
You win 2 in a row. That's called back-to-back. You win 3 in a row. That's called a winning
Brad.
streak. It has happened before.
Brad, don't take this away from me, Brad. Okay, here's the deal, though. Aaron Boone, he goes off during a presser. I thought this was fabulous because I like to see managers fly off the handle, right? They're always so composed. They just hang out. They lean over that top step of the dugout, and they're just really chill. So when they go off, it's the best. But it doesn't happen very often in press conferences, and it did this time. Smack the table. He said, I could answer all the same questions every day, and it won't make a bit of difference. It's that you're going to ask me the same questions every day. I'm going to give you the same answers every day. And the fact remains is that we have to do better. We're just not cutting it. That was awesome because that's what the press does. They go in every day and they ask the same questions. And in a situation like this, there are no new answers.
Right.
Nothing has changed.
So, I mean, this same thing has been going on for almost a month now. 3 weeks.
Yep. I know.
3 whole weeks
horrendous.
It's been going. And so it's weird because I don't like people asking the same old questions, but it's almost valid to ask the same old questions. Like,
right.
So what are you doing then? Right?
Yeah.
Have you changed anything up? Have you considered making any changes? Because things don't seem to be getting any better. You have to change at some point. Like I could see earlier this year as an Angels beat reporter being incredibly bored with that team. It is the same thing every day. They are losing. They've lost every single day for almost 3 weeks. What else do you ask?
Right.
You're going to start making some changes? You asked us that a week and a half ago. I'm still curious if you're going to start making some changes.
Have you made any changes?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So Aaron Judge goes on the record. He says he believes that they just need a little bit of a better energy in the dugout, push each other a little bit more, that kind of thing. I found this fascinating, and you'll find the chess pieces are now moving across the board. Boone dismissed that. Not directly. He didn't blow it off, but he did come back and say, I think everyone's searching a little bit. He says, I've really been pleased with the energy level. So it was this little bit of I know you think you're the captain, but you're not yet. Maybe sign that extension and you could be, it's something like that going on. I feel like there's a little bit of spatting going on because I think Aaron Judge, it wants more of an official leadership role in the clubhouse. And I think he wants to play center field. And when they don't let him play center field, I think he's noticeably and rightfully so very upset.
Well, there's that, but I mean, who's going to have a better pulse on the clubhouse, Aaron Judge or Aaron Boone?
A Judge.
Exactly right.
That's it. Simple.
So has Aaron Boone completely lost this clubhouse? I asked it earlier this season.
I know.
It sure seemed like he had. Then everything rallied together, and I don't know that Boone necessarily had anything to do with it. I think we were texting each other, right? Or was it on Thursday night on the live where I was like, "Is he going to lose his job if they don't get to the World Series?"
Yeah,
and it sure seems like it.
Yeah,
I mean, even if they get there, he could lose his job.
Yeah, they have to make an appearance, but if they don't show up right, even if they make an appearance, I think he's out after this season. But then Cashman comes back and supports Boone wholeheartedly. I'm shocked. And this makes me wonder what is going on culturally throughout the organization. It seems systemic at this point.
It really does.
That's the problem.
And that's the thing that's crazy is that since George Steinbrenner died, there's been a systemic issue. Like for a
Yep.
while there, Hal was out there running his mouth, saying all kinds of crazy crap. And
All
then
kinds of
now
stuff.
he's finally decided to shut up, but things haven't gotten much better.
No, and Cashman's still collecting baseball cards.
He finally was willing to get rid of one of them, but since then things have crashed with Gallo.
Seriously crashed. Oh man.
And this is the thing with that Gallo thing, like he doesn't strike me as like the clubhouse guy, but maybe he is.
Maybe.
I always equate it to the guy at the end of the bench in the NBA, right? Like literally sitting next to the fans at the end of the bench in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't get in the game. He never takes his warm-ups off. He wears a t-shirt over his jersey. But he has a major impact on that team. The more enthusiastic that guy is, the better the team plays, because his job is to get out there, wave the towel, whip somebody in the butt when they make a good play and come over for a timeout. He's the first one off the bench to give high fives to everybody. The towel waver is the most enthusiastic and encouraging player on the entire team. And maybe Joey Gallo being like, dude, I'm hitting maybe a buck 10 right now.
Yeah.
Like I got to figure out another way to contribute to this team. I will wave a towel until my arm falls off, if that's what I have to do to get this team to win, because Gallo's been in Texas forever and not won anything. He had a chance to win here.
Yeah, he did.
And if that was his role and the Yankees traded him away because of how he was playing on paper, that could have crushed the locker room. The Trailblazers traded away Damian Lillard's best friend. He was the towel waver. And he didn't, Lillard's still one of the best players in the NBA, but his performance dipped a little bit because he was vocal about it. He was upset that they traded him away. So,
well, I got to be honest with you. I also wonder if there was a little bit of a pick-me-up game going on. And by that, I mean, like, guys, we got to rally together because Joey's looking bad. Like, if we do well enough, maybe they won't pay attention. I mean, nobody has that conversation outright like that, but that's kind of what I feel like maybe was happening, is that they're sitting there going, guys, we gotta pick up a little extra slack here because Joey's not got it right now. Let's wait. Let's just hang on till Joey's got it. And maybe they loved or appreciated or whatever his presence so much that they were willing to do more to help compensate. Now he's gone, and they're like, I don't know what happened. I'm shocked and dismayed.
And along that vein, like if they were compensating for another guy in the lineup, like they've got to be exhausted.
Yeah.
Maybe this is who this team is. Is that
or
they were
maybe
overperforming.
Maybe this is just the exhausted version.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fascinating because they were so good for so long and now they're so bad. And it's going to be interesting to see if it comes back up.
I think so many people since the break on the starting lineup are under the Mendoza line.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Not only that, but like a complete power outage. Judge has hit now 2 home runs as of tonight, 2.
Yep.
And then you've got like Benintendi took a year to get his first hit, which is really weird. Really, really weird.
Well, and Matt Carpenter's out with his injury, which, by the way, he does not need surgery on his foot, we found out.
That's good. It's
a clean break. Just let it heal. So that's a huge win. That means that if they do go deep into the playoffs, he could maybe come back. We don't know.
Well, I think he would just come back in his same role.
That's what I mean. Just be a DH.
Just be a DH, pinch hitter. Go out there, hit some dingers, and jog around the bases. They're not going to ask him to do too much.
No, and I think he is a clubhouse towel waving type of dude. He goes on the field and performs when he's called into it, but I think he does both.
I think so too. Yeah, because didn't things really turn around when he came in, when they brought him in?
That's when things turned around, and now everybody's giving Joey Gallo the attention, but I think it has a lot to do with Matt Carpenter.
Good.
All right, let's move on. Well, really quick, what are the chances Judge remains a Yankee at this point? I get asked this daily. I wanted to ask you.
Right now, with the way things are going, and with what looks like could be a somewhat fractured relationship with Boone, I don't think it looks good. Honestly, I don't want to say they're pushing him out the door, but it's kind of like before a breakup when you like start to distance yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Could not agree more. And I think that depending on, I think Judge is no longer a Yankee unless they make it to the World Series. If they make it to the World Series, the chances go up, but they're not sold. I think if they win the World Series, he still might want to just go out on top. I don't know. I'm not saying it's definitive. I can see it happening. Anyway, let's move on.
Fascinating.
Tampa Bay made history on Sunday, which in a really fascinating way. They fielded in their starting lineup players from 8 different nations. And this is really, really cool. Now, I'll get into the details in a minute, but, let's do it now. They fielded players from the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, Panama, Taiwan, and the United States, all in one team, all in one starting lineup.
That's
first
really
time
cool.
in history that's ever been done. Anybody with that many nationalities represented.
That it's crazy to think that. I mean, that's every position, like take out your pitcher. That's everywhere.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I feel like the World Baseball Classic, and we'll get there later, is so cool because you can have this diverse of a roster and still be this good.
That's right. I agree. I thought it was really cool. So another fun fact about this, Houston, the Astros, as of opening day, had 16 nationalities represented on their 28-man roster to start the season. That was the MLB leader as of this season. So pretty cool stuff happening. I thought that was an interesting tidbit I ran across.
That's really cool.
All right, Brad, let's shift gears to Marcell Ozuna. For those of you that don't know, Marcell Ozuna was arrested for driving under the influence, and that's very bad. So Brad has some things he wants to say, and then I'll share a couple things. But Brad, why don't you tell us what you think of this?
Well, so first off, like, I know that a lot of people don't feel bad for the guy because of his history, right? You know, he did jail time for domestic violence.
Totally.
And everything. So a lot of people don't feel bad for him. But my thing is, like, guy seems to have a problem, right? Like, a lot of people were really making light of it. Even the Braves broadcasters kind of trolled him. I think it was tonight or yesterday, where because the video was released and he said, I'm Ozuna from the Braves. And even the Braves broadcaster, when he stepped up to the plate, said, it's Ozuna from the Braves. Like, okay, like, I get it. It's easy to kick a guy while he's down, but I don't think you should, because this is a significant problem. And I'm not saying any of his other problems weren't significant, but his problems continue. And it's funny because just last week, I was thinking every once in a while, Carlos Guillen pops into my mind. And he got busted for a DUI when he was with the Mariners. And around that same time that there was like 4 or 5 other guys who were. I was like, man, MLB really has a problem with this. Yeah. And earlier this year, before the season started, you had Tony La Russa, right? Who got busted for a DUI. But since him, I don't remember any coming out. Haven't heard of any. So the other day I was kind of thinking, man, they've kind of figured this thing out, because I don't know if they have the program like in the NFL where you could call a ride anytime, right? Where it's basically they have like the league-wide Uber is set up so that you can call a ride anytime you need it, so you don't drive under the influence.
Right.
And so,
which is brilliant.
It is. It's great. Every league should have it because every league can afford it. I guarantee you that.
We had that in the Army.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was a volunteer program, but it was Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Oh, okay.
And so you'd put your name on the list and say, yeah, if you need a guy, call a guy. And I'd be the guy this day, and this day, or whatever. Yeah. That's very common.
So yeah, it should be a thing. And it really rubbed me the wrong way that so many people were taking a victory lap on somebody who had kind of come into the league and seemed like maybe he had rehabilitated himself and a little bit of his image. Even Braves fans booed him this weekend.
Yeah.
Which I get, you're upset.
Sure.
You know, but I don't know. I just feel like more people should be like, okay, this guy needs help, rather than taking a victory lap on him. That was what bugged me about the whole thing.
So I don't fault the fans for expressing their opinions or feelings because
Right.
that's
You
what
can
I
be
do.
disgusted with what somebody does. I agree with that.
I also think that probably the most direct way to do that, to express that, is to boo them when they come on the field. Now, you got to remember I'm a Yankees fan, and that's not a foreign concept to Yankees fans. We boo our own players all the time when they're on the field not performing or when they do something stupid. So, I just take that as a way to express displeasure from the fan base. It's in the most direct way possible. Does it sting? Sure. Totally agree. But I'm not going to fault the fans for doing that.
And
I will
can
say though,
clear something up
please,
real quick.
please.
Like I said, the fans can voice their displeasure. That's not the problem I had. The problem I had was mostly with the announcers taking their victory lap and social media kicking a guy while he's down. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, and that's that. See, and this is where I totally agree with you, because this needs to be his organization, friends and family, teammates. Like, people need to rally to support him. However, he needs support. Like, whatever the best thing for him is, and it's not going to be his idea at this point. Probably, I don't want to say he needs an intervention, but maybe this dude needs an intervention. And he's around teammates and friends and family like all day, every day. So maybe it can't be that group of people because they're sick of each other or whatever. And then maybe they're sick of his behavior and attitude.
Yeah.
But then, he's got that secondary tier of people in his life, that next level of influence, who are with him, the next level down of frequency. That's the group of people that needs to step up and help. And then the Braves jump in and support. So anyway, I'm with you, man. This is, I hope he can get the help he needs, and I hope it's as early as possible. Now I know he's back on the field. They're playing for a playoff situation right now. It's not going to be right now. But if anything else goes wrong between now and the end of October, that's going to be bad for him. It's going to be bad for the Braves. But it's going to be sad because it's like all hands on deck right now. And this goes for anybody. Ozuna is just one example, but if there's anybody with a problem of any kind and you need them in the fight, it's all hands on deck to keep them in the fight. And then you fight for each other. Mm-hmm. Okay. We agree.
And one more thing on this, like, I think it was a few months ago, Delonte West, he had played for the Cavs in the NBA when they when LeBron James had taken to the finals a couple of years. I think he was on the team that won the final. I can't remember. Anyway, he was found living, I think, behind a gas station or something like that. And people were like, hey, the Players Association needs to help him. And they're like, well, he's not part of the association anymore. Like, we don't take care of him. So instead, I think it was Mark Cuban helped him out because he's like, he played for me. He's my guy, Yeah. And I feel like, okay, I understand the association saying he doesn't currently play. It's not our problem. But Ozuna is a current player. He is part of the association right now. Like, maybe the Players Association needs to step in too and help a member of their union.
That's a great
even
point.
if it's just sit him down like, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is the path you're headed on. You need to figure out how to fix it, and we would like to help you.
Right. But, so put together a plan, or we will.
Yeah.
Or we can do it together, whatever you want to do. But there needs to be a plan, and we would like it to be your idea.
Exactly. So,
because that's all the love and support. Okay, Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto is named AL Player of the Week. This is significant because everybody forgot about Johnny Cueto when he moved to Chicago. And but he went 2-0. He pitched an 0.54 ERA. That's 1 earned run, Brad, out of 16 2/3 innings. It's awesome. And he only gave up 2 walks. No, that 1 earned run was not a home run either. So I thought that was really, really cool. I like to see when pitchers get Player of the Week because it highlights an incredibly nuanced part of baseball that doesn't have to do with home runs. And I really like that.
Right. Well, and Cueto came into the season. He wasn't on a team. He was a free agent and
Yeah.
has kind of come in and he was kind of treated like he was washed. Like I think that if I remember right, the White Sox brought him in and then he pitched almost like ceremoniously against the Royals, right?
Yeah.
And then they've kind
He
of
did
brought him in,
well. Yeah.
yeah, in and out since then. But it's good for him to come
It's
in
kind
and
of a
have this kind
Cinderella
of,
story.
yeah, a little bit, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in fact, Jewel and I had been talking about this earlier in the year because we're trying to figure out like how the Mariners are gonna we're gonna fill out their starting rotation. He's like, do you go 6-man? Do you do this? I was like, do you bring up the rookies and stuff? He's like, well, what about Cueto? It's like, well, I don't know if I would want him in the starting rotation. He's like, but having that presence in that rotation, it's a big deal. And if he can give you a few good outings, and he's put together a few good outings for the White Sox here.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a big deal. Big deal for
That's
him.
interesting.
Big deal for the White Sox because they need it.
But they need something. This
Big time.
is as good as anything.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, Brad. Do you remember Bryce Harper?
Vaguely. Isn't he the guy with like really good hair and a beard?
Really good hair. Yeah.
A little bit
Great
of an attitude
beard.
that's kind of fun.
Super fun. Yeah. You remember that guy?
Yeah,
Plays for Philly.
Oh,
Best
yeah,
friends with
that's where he is, though.
best friends with that other guy that's really good at baseball. Anyway.
I don't know which one, but anyway.
Mike Trout. Anyway,
Oh,
Bryce
okay.
Harper will begin his AAA rehab assignment Tuesday, 23rd. So today, if you're listening, he's expected. That's with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. He's expected to be with them through Saturday, and hoping to join back the Phillies on Monday. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Now, obviously, he's probably not going to come back in the field. We don't know, but at the plate,
he's still dealing with that elbow issue,
right?
Because I don't think that's going to heal itself. But yeah, at the plate, that's a big deal to have him.
Yeah. What does Bryce Harper do for the Phillies at this stage? Let's say he comes back Monday. Okay, so what's Monday? The 8th? So
yeah.
let's just call it September
29th.
1st. Let's say he comes back September 1st.
Okay.
What does that do for the Phillies in the playoff push as of September 1st? Let's say he's healthy. He can take every at-bat. He performs as expected. What are we looking at?
These days, I say it gives them an edge over whoever is in the NL Central. The second place team in the NL Central, whether it be the Brewers or the Cardinals. I think it gives them an edge over them. It might put them... So, the Padres...
Yes, Brad.
In the world. I was like so confident. I was like, man, the Padres, get your money in now because
no,
they're not going to win.
You
anything.
Really were.
They're not going to win anything. And you know what it does, Brig? This could get them up over the Padres potentially. They still have issues with their bullpen. But if they can have one more reliable bat, and by one more I mean one of the most reliable bats in baseball in their lineup, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Say, Brig.
Pretty good. Yeah.
So, yeah, and this is the thing is like whether he's driving guys in or getting on base, he's doing something to contribute to that team winning, and it's something that they do not have right now.
They don't have it. That's right. I agree with you. Everything you said. Thank you very much. Okay, the Little League Classic happened. Nobody found out.
Nobody knew until yesterday.
Nobody told us that it was happening. Nobody knew who was playing in the game. There weren't special jerseys for it like there usually are. There was nothing. It was a wasted opportunity for Major League Baseball. What in the actual cheese happened here?
It feels to me like this was one of those last minute things like July. Somebody goes, it's like All-Star break, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, we doing the Little League Classic this year? Oh, we took the last 2 years off that thing. Maybe. Do we have anybody who's playing in the area we could get to that game?
Just close-ish.
close-ish. We can just move it up the road. It'll be fine. What are the Yankees doing that day? Red Sox, maybe? The Red Sox and Orioles are playing.
Bada boom!
So weird. Like, Major League Baseball, I understand, like, it wasn't a game they were selling tickets to, right? Because it's closed off to the Little League complex, everything like that. You can't buy tickets to it. But if I had known that there was a unique uniform at play here and at a unique site, I would have probably made plans to watch the game. Especially given the Red Sox. Yeah, I would at least tuned in for a little while. Right? Because that's what I did. That's what I did with the Field of Dreams game. I just wanted to see what it looked like on TV. Let me see what the Little League Classic looks like on TV. I had no intention of watching Sunday Night Baseball going into that game.
Right.
But I found out that it was the Little League Classic maybe like 3 hours before the game. I was like, well, I'm doing other things tonight.
Plans made, Rob.
Yeah. You're not helping your TV numbers with ESPN by not marketing your games. And it's so weird, especially the special ones like this. You've got to get eyes on that and get little leaguers with their eyes on it. That's what you need. You need kids' eyes on this game because it's relatable.
Well, and when Rob Manfred took over for Bud Selig, one of the things he said was he was going to commit to the younger fans. He was going to commit to youth baseball. This seems like such a misstep, especially given that was his stated intention when he arrived. I don't understand. And and then the Orioles won, and that was hilarious.
Because that's not what ESPN wanted. I guarantee you that.
No, and neither was Rob. Rob was like, "Oh, I'll get the Red Sox in there. The Red Sox are good, right? Like they're good sellers." We're making extreme light of this, but the fact is that this was a huge misstep on part of Major League Baseball, and we're so sorry that the Red Sox lost to Baltimore. But ultimately, no, we're not. It's just kind of. I hope this trend continues because we will probably laugh about it for the next 5 years if it still does. It'll never stop being funny for that long. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, baseball family. And when we get back, we're going to talk about fantasy baseball, World Baseball Classic, and then a little bit later, we're going to get into some season milestones that we think you should be paying attention to.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+ Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We're going to get into our fantasy baseball update for the previous week. This was week 18 matchup. Yeah. So let's start with the Springfield Isotopes against the Not Another Fantasy team. Springfield Isotopes, that is our guest listener, Zip. And then we have Jason, who is Not Another Fantasy team. Jason won this one 471 to 200. That's a big one. Zip actually texted me the other day and apologized for this one. He's like, wow, I am so sorry. It's like, you're fine. There's one in every league. It's like, just happened to be you this year. I was like, I was in my fantasy football league last year. That's why I'm not doing it this year.
There you go. Yeah. That's amazing.
But
I don't know what noise that was I just made.
Zip's top scorer was Martin Maldonado with 38, and then Jose Altuve had 36. Jason had Ryan Mountcastle with 81 and Sean Murphy with 72. Murphy had himself a series against the Mariners over the weekend. I was very upset about it. Like, very upset. So, there's that. Jason improved to 9-9. Zip dropped to 3-15. Let's go to Brigger Mortis. Briggs team against the Harrisburg Charlies. That's John. Brig won this one 477 to 409. Very good. Nice. Brig, your top score was Yuli Gurriel with 79 points, and then you had Jose Trevino with 60. That's pretty good.
Yep. Look at the spread, though.
That is a good spread because your low score, all your scorers first off were had positive points, which is a surprisingly big deal, right?
A huge
And
deal,
then
yeah.
Yeah, that was Martin Perez with 7, but then above that, like you had DeGrom with 16.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit double digits every week with everybody.
Yeah, that's good. I think I don't know that it's a guaranteed win if that happens, but you're gonna be pretty well off if that is the case. But John had Will Smith with 80. That's the Will Smith with the Dodgers, the catcher, and then he had Vlad Guerrero Jr. with 75. So his highs were higher, but his lows were lower because he had Lucas Giolito with negative
Lost
13.
points. Yeah.
3 innings pitched, got a loss, 7 earned runs. It won't show me all of his stats, but not a good week for him. 8 hits, like that's a bad outing for him. So that really took a major toll on John's score this week. Again, that's Brig 477 over John 409. Brig, you're 9-9 as well, and John is also 9-9. You're on a 2-game winning streak, and by that I mean you're going to back-to-back. Let's move on to the Springfield Nuclear Power. That's Torrey, and then we got Jewel, the big league Chupacabra. Torrey was the high scorer this week with a whopping 500 points. I'm going to have to go back and check. That might be the highest score we've seen all season.
I think, well,
if not, it's very close.
It's very close. Yeah.
Because he had Paul Goldschmidt with 122. Goldschmidt was 13 for 24 with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. The dude is playing out of his mind. Give him the MVP like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I like Manny Machado, and I would like to see him win it just to shut people up. But I don't know how you can give it to him over Goldschmidt because that's just bananas. And speaking of Manny Machado, he's on Torrey's team as well. He got 38 points this last week, 9 for 26 with a home run and 6 RBIs. But his second highest scorer was Nathaniel Lowe, and he scored 104 points. And then Jewel had Cal Raleigh with 65 and Jose Abreu with 60. Yeah, Jewel did not have a great week for himself. He usually is up there.
Yeah, he's usually killing it. Yeah,
a typical week would have been actually pretty competitive with Torrey. We had a pretty rough week. Jewel is 13-5. Torrey is 8-10, and then on to my matchup. I'm the Manitoba Man Clowns up against Denise. She is Grace Under Fire. I won this one 393 to 373. This is about as average of a matchup as you could get, I feel like.
Yeah.
With that score. My top scorer was Matt Olson with 83. Then I had Adley Rutschman with 65. Denise had Wilson Contreras with 76. And Freddie Freeman with 71. I have Marcell Ozuna on my team. I just remembered. And I might need to find somebody else because I don't know how much he's going to be playing coming up. So there's that. Because he went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
-1 point.
The end.
So I'm now 10-8. Denise is 11-7.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the standings real quick because the season is wrapping up. We're going to be getting into the playoffs here pretty soon. I broke this league into 2 divisions. We have the American League and the National League, and it's actually broken up, Brig. I don't know if you noticed this. The American League and National League is broken up based on the team, like the person who manages the team. It's based on the Major League Baseball team that they're a fan of. So you, Jewel, Zip, and me, the 4 of us are in the American League.
Whoa.
And then you've got Denise, Jason, John, and Tori all in the National League.
I did not know that.
Little nugget for
you. Now,
there.
fantasy playoffs are in September. It's the last week of the regular season of baseball. Last month, not the last week.
Yeah, the last month, as I say. It depends on how your league is set up, but yeah, it's going to be the last month. So it's coming up in a couple weeks. Right now, we have Jewel is leading the American League at 13-5. Then I'm in second place at 10-8. You're in third at 9-9. Zip is at the bottom at 3-15. Denise is on top of the National League, 11-7. Then you got Jason and John tied at 9-9, and then Tori at the bottom there at 8-10. That's still a pretty tight race there going up to the finish. Anybody, like, if Denise loses a couple in a row, she could end up falling out. If Jason or John win a couple in a row. So it'll be interesting to follow that and see how that ends up happening. Okay, we talked about the World Baseball Classic earlier. Let's talk about it now. Because we just mentioned
Let's talk about it now.
Let's get into it. Let's talk World Baseball Classic.
Let's get into it.
So
Yes!
I'm very excited about this. I know I say this every single time, but mostly I'm excited because it's just down the street from me this year. I am pumped. I cannot wait.
We are
I'm good.
coming.
Yes, Brig is going to come to my house.
Talking to Mike Farnes about it too, and he's like, "We're going to do this." He went to a ball game a couple days ago and just found out about it. And I was like,
"Oh, really?
You're not listening to the podcast then?" I had to tease him about it, but yes, he is in. He wants to be there.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll go, and it'll be a blast, and I'm so very excited for this. So we have teams they're filling out their rosters. We've talked about this a little bit with Team USA, but as of I think it was Sunday night during the Little League Classic, Cedric Mullins was mic'd up, and he confirmed that he is going to be playing for Team USA. So that gives us Cedric Mullins, Bryce Harper, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso, Trevor Story, and Captain America himself, Mike Trout. So that is Team USA so far. Missing so far, I believe, a shortstop and a catcher. It'll be interesting to see who the catcher for Team USA is going to be. Right now,
yeah.
Like, honestly, my pick might be Mike Zunino, but he's hurt right now. So I don't know if he's going to be healthy by the time the World Baseball Classic rolls around. The reason I pick him is because he's experienced. He's a veteran. Really good defensive catcher. He's got power for days. So
for sure,
if he gets up there against a pitcher who he decides he can hit, he'll do wonders offensively for this team. But mostly it's his defensive prowess. He does an amazing job managing pitching staffs. And so I'd like to see him on Team USA. I think that'd be really cool. And, obviously I'm a little bit biased because he used to be a Mariner, but at the same time, though, like, I think he's a great catcher. Outstanding. Yeah. If he's healthy, I'd like to see him there.
That's interesting.
Do you have anybody in mind, Brig?
Well, so I like Will Smith a lot. And I like James McCann as a possible.
And you know what? I don't know if the Orioles would let it happen. But I wonder if Adley Rutschman might get an opportunity too, because they'll probably carry 3 or 4 catchers.
Whoa. Adley Rutschman. Well, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Talk about Captain America. That dude looks like Captain America.
He really does. That really could be something. You just can't sleep on Will Smith, though.
No, you're right. I don't know why I didn't think of Will Smith.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pass up. Yeah,
and he could be one of the 3 or 4 they carry, because I don't think they want those guys catching too many games in a row, especially in February, in March like that.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
we'll keep you updated as the roster fills out. We do have some commits for Team Dominican Republic. Very exciting. Always a competitive team. I mean, look at this roster so far, Brig, that they have. They have Vlad Guerrero Jr. They have Jose Ramirez. Manny Machado is going to be playing for the Dominican Republic this year. Juan Soto, Rafael Devers, Sandy Alcantara, who is arguably one of the top 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball right now.
100%.
And Emmanuel Clase and Genesis Cabrera. So that's a solid team that they have so far, too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Julio Rodriguez ends up on that team as well.
Oh, I could see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah, because he played for them in the Olympics, which is a whole different thing because they don't have big leaguers. But at the same time, though, I could see him remaining with the Dominican Republic team and going to the World Baseball Classic now that he is a big leaguer.
Yep.
Because that almost felt like an unfair advantage. They basically had a big leaguer with no experience on their roster.
Yeah, you're right. That's awesome. So, yeah, we will keep you posted as more teams get, put on the rosters in different countries and things like that. We'll try our best to pronounce all of the names as well as we can, but we can't make promises about that.
But we will definitely try our very best because we're looking forward to this. We want to provide you with we want to be your source for World Baseball Classic coverage. That's what we want to do because we love it so much. We care about it. We're passionate about it. We want you to feel that and be prepared for it as well. But let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to check in on some career and season milestones.
The Another Sports Podcast is the home of sports talk for everyone. Every other week, you can catch David and Jason as they talk about all things sports. from current events to classic moments and everything in between. You can find the Non-Linear Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and more. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
Welcome back, baseball family. Welcome to the third segment of the show today. We are getting the church giggles out during these segments, and it's kind of hard, but we wanted to let you know that the best way, the easiest way for you to support the podcast is to jump on Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can help us continue to do what we're doing, put new projects out there. We got some documentaries we would like to make, etc. Some different segments of the show that need a little support. And it's cheaper than one of my bougie coffees, as we like to say. There it is, Brad. He's a little quick on that trigger. Appreciate that. So that's what one of my bougie coffees looks like. If you were on was it the live? I think it was the live. We announced this on Thursday.
Right. Yeah.
But if you get on TikTok, you can also see just exactly what I order for my bougie Starbucks coffee when I go there. And it's a problem, but it is cheaper to support us on Patreon than it is to get one of those coffees. Anyway, let's talk about milestones, Brad, because there are a number of them we are approaching. As of this part of the season, this is kind of what we start looking for, and they always start to bottleneck. You'll notice that some people fall away as on the watch list, other people rise to the top and stay there. And what we've noticed over the last couple of years is that there are names that are on 2 or 3 watch lists for different things, and sometimes related and sometimes not. So that's going to happen again this year. Just look for that. It's kind of a pattern I've noticed. Let's talk about the machine, okay? King Albert Pujols, magic number to pass A-Rod, which we're all excited about. Just be honest.
We want everybody to pass A-Rod, right?
Exactly. The magic number to pass A-Rod is 4. He only needs now, as of Tuesday morning, the 23rd, he needs 2 or 4 home runs to pass A-Rod. To meet 700 home runs and join only 3 other players to do it, he only needs 7. 7 home runs, ladies and gentlemen, puts him in the 700 home run club, which is about as elite as it gets.
Can you name the only 3 guys who would be ahead of him at that point, Brig?
Hammer and Hank. Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And
Babe Ruth.
It's the Babe, yeah.
At 714.
The Sultan of SWAT.
You had me doubting myself, honestly, because I was like, it's Babe Ruth. Oh, wait a second. Did he have like 693? No, he's in the 700 club. Of course he's in the 700 club.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I don't know why I didn't get that easier. I should have played it off like I was messing with you, but I just can't be dishonest. I cannot tell a lie.
Cannot tell a lie.
Yeah. Anyway.
Said the
history lesson for the day.
Counterintelligence. Anyway. Sorry, I apologize.
It's on my LinkedIn. What do I care? I'm never going back. It's not a problem.
Back, unfortunately,
they will.
Anyway,
well, not part. Yeah, that's a long story.
That's the whole thing. It's a whole thing. So Albert Pujols, let's stick with him for just a minute. He only needs 1 more home run off of a unique pitcher. Now, this is somebody who he hasn't hit a dinger off yet in his career,
right?
Because as of right now, it's 449.
449.
So he needs 1 more to pass Barry Bonds. So right now they're tied. To be clear. He needs 1 more to get even 450. And it's going to be interesting to see if he gets it, because now that they don't have the roster expansion like they used to in September, right, where they bring up the full 40-man roster, now that it's only 28, you don't know if he's going to see a rookie or some guy who just throws meat coming up in September. And, maybe he will get an at-bat against a position player in September.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
If somebody's out of it and they're getting blown out, that's what they resort to, because we've seen that a whole lot this year.
More than ever.
It's got to be. That might be something we need to look into. But he might get a position player or some young pitcher he's never seen before in September and get it. But I mean, he's got a while.
Yeah, he's got time. He can do it.
I mean, getting
for
the
sure.
7 to 700 is still likely.
Still very likely. I think he's sitting officially at 7% probability to hit 7 and make it to the 700 club. I thought I ran across. There's different statistics. People have different opinions.
Well,
But-
it depends on who's running it and how they're running it and stuff. Because
Exactly. What do they call it? Z numbers and N numbers and X numbers,
R
and
numbers,
R numbers, and there's all kinds of
value,
one.
all that.
I took the one statistic class in the one time. Anyway, so we're really excited to watch Albert Pujols. Another Albert Pujols situation is that he has 26 home runs. Not home runs. If he drives in 26 RBIs, he will pass Babe Ruth for the second all-time list. As far as doubles, he's only 19 doubles away from 700 doubles, which is awesome.
I don't think he's going to get that though. Honestly,
no, he's not going to get that. I don't know that he'll drive in 26 runs either.
I don't think so.
That would be. He'd have to hit more of those pinch hit grand slams.
Yeah, he would.
That was nuts. He just come cold off the bench and hit a dinger and drove all 4 runs in. I was like,
he
what?
wasn't cold. They told him in the 5th, get ready to pinch hit in the 9th or whatever, in late inning it was.
Yeah,
and he was back in the back stretch, applying Bengay, whatever else he needed to do to
they
get
gave
ready.
him 6 months notice.
Yes, exactly.
We're sending you out of town for 6 months.
Anyway. That's how that went down.
That's exactly right. The last Pujols watch is for walks. He is sitting at 1,364 total walks. Currently, the active leader.
The
What does
active
that
leader,
put him?
but he's like
Right.
one. I'm getting on to double check. On Baseball Reference, they have him at
Is he 30th all time or something?
I think it's farther down than that. Sorry,
Is
I
it?
clicked the wrong button.
Quit clicking the wrong button, Brad.
I know it. Where'd he go? There he is. 33.
Okay. So it wasn't that far
33rd.
down.
He's gonna pass Giambi probably though, because
Yeah.
Giambi's only 2 above him. So he'll likely end his career 32nd on the list, which is crazy to think about, because the leader all time is Barry Bonds at 2,558. That is so many. That is
wow.
468 more than the next guy, Ricky Henderson.
Whoa. 400 and what? 68?
Yeah.
Holy
Henderson
cow.
has 2190.
What's the next guy?
The Babe at 2062. And then Ted
How many
Williams
guys-
after that.
How many guys have 2,000 or more?
4. Ted Williams,
That's it?
Babe Ruth, Ricky Henderson, and Barry Bonds. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Barry Bonds' number is untouchable, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to hit that because
No.
he was getting intentionally walked with the bases loaded because.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a whole thing. But anyway.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole hat size thing, too. Stop it. Okay. So, Nolan
Let's talk about Aaron
Arenado.
Judge. Oh, sorry.
No.
Nolan Arenado.
Nolan
Go ahead.
Arenado is sitting at 6. The magic number for him is 6 till he reaches 300 home runs. Frederick Freeman needs 13 till he hits 300 homers. There's a chance Arenado gets this season, but it's going to happen early next for sure.
Yeah, I honestly think he will, because I was looking at.
You think he'll get it this season?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's got 6 weeks. Think about that.
1 a week? Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
that's not unreasonable, especially with who they have
No.
coming up. Like, they have 5 in a row against the Cubs. They played the first of 5 against the Cubs tonight. Then they got the Braves, but then they got Cincinnati, more against the Cubs, 4 against the Nats, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, a bunch against Cincinnati, some against the Padres, and then they end the season with 6 straight against Pittsburgh. He's gonna get 6 dingers.
Okay, you're right. If they were playing the Mets every day or something, they wouldn't. He
Right.
probably wouldn't. but-
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's a good
No,
point.
they have a schedule that's gonna. I mean, who knows how many Pujols could end up with?
Yeah, you're right. Wow. What about Freeman? Do you think he reaches 300 homers this season with 13 more?
I
say no.
I don't know. I feel like he goes on streaks, right?
Yep.
Like if he gets hot for a few weeks, for like 3 weeks to end the season, he could. But at the same time, Roberts could be like, there's no reason in playing these guys. And he plays like Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and those guys for like 5 innings, then pulls them, turns the rest of the season into spring training. But they have Milwaukee. They have a bunch of games. They have 4 games against Miami end of this week. And they got the Padres, got some against the Giants. The Giants are going to start mailing it in here pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
4 games against Arizona. He crushes Arizona pitching. A lot of people crush Arizona pitching. Let's be real.
I was just going to say that.
5 games against Arizona pitching. And then Colorado, 6 games against the Rockies to end the season.
In Denver?
No, it's in LA, but still, that's Colorado pitching.
Yeah.
At home.
Bad. Yeah, you're right.
Like at Freeman's home field, the only reason I think at that point he doesn't get it is if Robert sits him down for 3 of those games.
Yeah. Interesting. Aaron Judge is on pace to hit 62 still. That's the official line is that he's on pace for now. It's been all over the place. He went 10 calendar days without hitting a home run from August 12th to August 22nd. He did not hit a single home run. He did it tonight, Monday night, versus Max Scherzer in the Bronx during the Subway
that's what
Series.
he needed.
It was a big boost.
That slump buster.
Yep. It was a big deal against a big-time pitcher in a big-time situation. Yep. And they went on to win the game. I got to be honest with you. They didn't look amazing tonight against the Mets, but they didn't look bad.
As long as they're not looking bad, because they
didn't look
looked
bad. Yeah, they didn't look bad. They looked much tighter than they had been.
Their base running in Seattle looked like they had no idea what was going on. Not even in Seattle, in New York, their base running against the Mariners looked like they had no idea what was going on.
That both parts of that series were just atrocious. For us, for you, they were great.
All right. For Seattle, they were fantastic. It got me thinking, I want these guys in the playoffs.
Yeah. And you, at this point, you probably still do. But anyway, let's see. Joey Votto, we got to talk about him for a minute. He's going to pass A-Rod soon. He only needs, anyways, next on the list for walks to tie A-Rod at 36th all time. It's less important than this next statistic I'm going to lay on you. You ready for this, Brad?
I'm ready.
Atlanta was once the number 1 team in baseball for striking out at the plate.
And on pace to set a record.
And we razzed them so hard. And then they remembered how to play baseball, went on a tear, still doing very well, and are no longer the dubious award winners of such the notoriety of striking out more than anybody else. Now, none other than the Anaheim Angels have a 14 strikeout lead. Oh yeah, you heard that right.
I think the Angels struck out 20 times in one game against the Astros, so that definitely helped.
Helped? Are we calling it helped?
Help the Braves.
Well, yeah, I help the Braves.
Did you see? So I'm not laughing at Ohtani. I'm not laughing at Ohtani. I'm laughing at the comments. Did you see that Ohtani had to leave after like 3 or 4 innings yesterday on Sunday because he got sick with a stomach virus?
No.
Did you see that? So first off, the
Mike
picture.
Trout?
Well, the picture, his face looked green, like he looked sick. Right? Like surprised he went out there. And a lot of people were like, yeah, that's the not winning virus, or he's
I call
sick
it the
of
Mike
losing.
Trout virus. Mike Trout flu.
Although we did find out Mike Trout has a legitimate injury.
He does.
So there's
I shouldn't call it that.
But no,
I want to call it that though.
The comments on the Instagram post were just absolutely amazing. Just
That's
sick
incredible.
of losing and sick of there's something in the water that's getting him sick and making everybody else forget how to hit. But
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so baseball family, those are your milestones to watch the remainder of the season. We'll keep you updated with anybody who passes and surpasses any of these. But ultimately, are there any that you're really excited to see go down? Do you want anybody past? Who do you think's up next? If you're watching anything special, we want to know about it. Jump in the mailbag at baseballtogether.com and drop us a line. You can also tell us that we're terrible people if you'd like. We're not. We're not. We make very bad jokes, and that's as bad as it gets because we're both dads, and that's how it goes. We're just practiced at making bad jokes. But you can call us out on our bad jokes. You can tell us what players you like to watch on that, which milestones in the mailbag at baseballtogether.com. We also are preparing to do another listener mailbag episode. So if you have questions for us, if you have comments, if there's anything you want to just air, you got a dirty laundry, you want to tell Brad how sad you are that he shaved his beard, I mean, like, please jump in the mailbag, and we need to start a petition to get it back because we're all still sad, Brad.
I looked in the mirror today and I was sad, I'll be honest with you.
Even the listeners in France who can't see your face, they're sad. By the way, thank you for listening in France. We found out that we do very well in France. And so
Yes,
if you're listening in France, we love you and appreciate all of your listens. Thank you very much. And thanks to everybody else. Couldn't do it without you.
Before we go, we wanted to do a little bit of a crossover bit here, and we wanted to do our seed of the day to remind you of Chinook Seedery. You can see it right there if you're watching on YouTube. We have that banner right in the middle of the screen. But also, your seed of the day today is Smokehouse Barbecue. It's fantastic. It's delicious. It tastes like an actual barbecue rub. That's what I love about it. It's the best barbecue seed I have ever had in my entire life. And that is not hyperbole. These are literally, as it says on the package, the best seeds ever. And you can get yours at ChinookSeedery.com. Use code BTPOD at checkout to get 10% off your order, and you will support the podcast all while buying the best seeds ever. And don't forget, you can also hop on the shop on 9plusus.com. I spell it out, NINEPLUSUS.com. You can get sweet t-shirts like Brig and I are wearing. I got my perfect shirt on. Brig's got his Baseball Together. Is that Boston, Brig?
Shh.
Well, you live in the town with it's fine. You live in a town.
This is why I do this, though.
Yeah. Exactly.
The drive, the Greenville Drive is in the town here. And I don't want to wear anything with the Red Sox logo on it. I can't, which is why I have this shirt, so I can support the drive and be with them and supportive of them with Boston's colors. It's as close as I'll get.
Exactly.
That's why we do it.
Nothing wrong with it, Brig.
No, you're right.
That's why we do what we do. So Go get yourself something nice. Get yourself a water bottle sticker. I got a few, but anyway. But baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Let us know what you think about the podcast. Like Brig said, hop in the mailbag on baseballtogether.com. There's a link there. You can send us any of your questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks, and anything you want us to talk about on the mailbag episode upcoming during the offseason. Baseball family, we're getting to the home stretch, and we will catch you next week.